Welcome to paradise. We've been staying here at Camp Margaritaville in Crystal Beach, Texas for the past 2 months. And with only 3 weeks left here until we head home, we thought it was time to tell you that sometimes paradise has a dark side. But before we get into that, let's talk about why we came here in the first place.
We chose this RV park because it was the closest RV park to our home while being on the beach. We also like the fact that there's a ton of stuff to do without ever leaving the campground, which is a good thing because Big Booty Judy over here only gets about 12 miles to the gallon, and diesel prices are insane right now.
I mean, where else can you park your home on wheels where there's 2 pools, 2 massive hot tubs, a restaurant, all kinds of toys for the kids to play with, a concert venue, a gym, laundry room, 2 ponds, rentals for when your friends come to visit, a boardwalk straight to the beach, and magical sunsets almost every night, and all of this for about $1,000 a month. This place has it all. So, what's the dark side?
Grab your popcorn and let's talk about it. First, let's start with something nobody talks about in the brochure.
The dogs. Well, we are big dog lovers. Obviously, we have a dog. One of the things that we can't hardly stand is the constant barking.
Yep. So right now we have neighbors right next to us who have little tiny dogs. Well, now they just have one little tiny dog. They did have 3 little tiny dogs out there, and they barked non-stop. It was awful.
Anytime someone walked by, anytime a golf cart drove by, anytime we stepped outside our door, anytime our neighbor 2 sites over stepped outside their door, they were barking.
I mean, just constant, non-stop barking. And then the guy would yell at him, "Stop! Shut up!" Or whatever. And they would stop, but it wasn't really teaching them or training them to not bark at every single thing that comes around.
Barking is normal with dogs, we understand that, but when you let your dogs constantly bark, you become a nuisance. And it gets to the point where no one is able to enjoy being outside and being able to be a part of the campground that you pay a lot of money to enjoy.
And at that point, if you're having to yell at your dogs constantly for barking, let's face it, it's not really a dog problem at that point, is it?
Another thing we want to mention about dogs being at campsites, and it's not a dog problem but a dog owner problem, is that not picking up after your dogs use the bathroom. The people here have been good about cleaning up, but we did end up with some dog dirt in our yard recently. And while it's not a huge deal because it only happens once in the 2 months we've been here, when we've been to other campgrounds, that has been more of an issue.
Yeah, so especially our old favorite campground out west of Oklahoma City was a KOA, and it was really bad about dog owners just letting their dogs run through everybody's campsite and poop everywhere, and it was pretty rough. If you have a dog or any kind of pet and you walk that dog and that dog poops, you clean it up. Everybody knows it when it comes to camping, and some people just don't care. I think that's what it comes down to, is some people just don't care.
Good boy.
Now let's talk about space. This campground is not very spacious as far as each individual campsite, especially a lot of these back-end sites. I'd say most of the back-end sites are not very spacious because the concrete pad itself is not very long, and so Like us, we have a 43-foot fifth wheel, and we backed up right to the end of our concrete pad, which is where you're supposed to be. The end of the trailer is at the concrete pad so that we're not interfering with anybody else. And our truck doesn't actually fit in front of our camper. We can't really park our truck, so what we do is we kind of back it in sideways underneath the tongue of the trailer. I don't really like doing that, but it is what it is. It's the only way we could actually fit in this campsite. But there are a lot of people here that will go ahead and back way over that concrete pad to give themselves more room to park in front, and kind of interferes with everybody else's space. It backs up into other people's campsites.
Which we experienced firsthand when we moved over.
We did. So our first campsite here was much better in the fact that there was nobody behind any of us on that row. We were in the very front of the campground. So there was just a bunch of grass behind all of us. So every one of us were able to back all the way back to where our back jacks were just right on the edge of the concrete. And it worked out perfect because it didn't hurt anybody. It was actually better for everybody. So that is a big negative as far as we're concerned, is just how interwoven we are. The campsites are like this, kind of.
And because of that, there's a fire pit at every campsite, but we can't use it. Yep. At least we don't feel comfortable using it. Our fire pit is extremely close to the camper and the truck next door. And if anything were to happen to somebody else's camper or truck because of the ashes coming off our fire, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So we have yet to have a fire here because we've never not had a neighbor.
Right.
And so we've not started one.
Yeah.
Also, the sites are not big enough for our children to go outside and really play near the camper. If they want to go play, they have to go all the way over to the jumping pillow or the playground, which is okay. But if you have small children, there's not a lot of room you have to wait and go with them. So there's not a lot of room outside your camper to really get to play with your kids.
It's basically just a parking spot so that you can enjoy the amenities that this RV resort has. It's a very expensive parking spot.
It is. But every site has a palm tree and a picnic table. Mm-hmm. And so that's nice. We go outside and we sit at the picnic table and eat lunch sometimes, things like that. But it is very tight, and when rigs come through, our neighbor, her truck did get hit in the bumper. Mm-hmm. So that is a risk that you're going to be taking while you're here, because like we said, there's just not a lot of places to park. And so she was kind of sticking out a little bit into the road, and someone came in and they clipped her back bumper. So
nobody's tried to clip my bumper yet.
Well, that's what happens when you have
they would regret it.
A hoss on the front. So campsites being small, while this campground is absolutely stunning and beautiful, it is kind of a downside here.
Yeah. Now there are several pull-through sites. A lot of them are really short as well. You have sites that back up to the pond, and those sites are pretty expensive. You've got sites that back up to the pool area and playground area, and those are very expensive as well. And so the only way to get out of it, other than to pay a lot more money, is to get a site that's on the very end, that your camper is facing
the road.
Mm-hmm. And that gives you quite a bit more space, actually, to mess around and play, and you don't have a camper on your campsite
so you can have
to mess with. And so you can have a fire. It hasn't really seemed to bother our neighbors. They light a fire quite often. It hasn't affected our camper or our truck yet. So
it's just about what you're comfortable with.
Yep, exactly.
And I don't want to have to pay for someone's camper burning down.
Exactly. Especially because the first two campers we were parked next to were pretty expensive Tiffin motor coaches. So I don't really want to mess with that.
So let's talk about the main reason that people come here, which is the beach or the ocean. This beach is in the Gulf, and so it's not the standard beautiful crystal clear water that you might be thinking of when you're thinking about booking a spot on the beach. The water here is gross. It's dirty and full of seaweed and kelp, and the beach gets covered in it. It is still fun. It is still ocean. You still get the waves, but you're not going to get that crystal clear turquoise water that you see. You're not going to be getting any of that. You get a lot of dirt and mud.
Yeah, there's a lot of silt in the water here I'm assuming because of a lot of the commercial traffic and a lot of the bays or ports here, the rivers or waterways that empty into the ocean here. There's several pretty close to where we're at, so I'm assuming that it's basically because of commercial traffic, which if we order anything off Amazon, it's our fault.
Yeah,
So
we're part of the problem.
we can't complain about it.
Something else that we discovered while we were here was some of the wildlife that washed up on the shore was some man-of-war jellyfish. So that was a little bit of a surprise, as well as blue bottle jellyfish. I want to call them blue buttons because they're like perfect little circles.
Are they blue buttons?
I don't know. Is it blue bottle or I don't know. We'll
You
put a
tell
picture.
us. You tell us what it is,
We'll put some pictures
because
here.
we still don't know.
But yeah, so I didn't know the one was the man of war. But those washed up and those were yucky because like when you're in the water you could see them and feel them.
They're pretty cool looking. to
They
be
were
honest with you.
beautiful. They're beautiful. And then also we didn't see any, but there is some sea dragons that had come out and they were on the beach and the water, and so they can all sting really bad. So that's something to think about, which I mean, when you go to any ocean, obviously animals are in the water, but just to be aware of what is in the water with you is probably a good thing.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Don't mess with nothing that you don't want
To mess with you.
to mess with you. So,
Yeah. Seagulls love to paint.
yeah, they're artists. They only have white paint, though, it seems like.
They love to paint. And they will paint your chair. And they will paint your camper. They'll even paint you if you let them.
Yeah. Thankfully, they haven't painted us yet.
But yeah, so watching for seagulls, the pelicans don't seem to care or bother anyone.
Yeah.
But the seagulls are, if you've got food, they're coming after you, which
Yeah.
I think most people know that about
Yeah.
the ocean and the seagulls.
Pro tip, if you're looking up watching seagulls, look up with your mouth closed. Just in case.
My mom used to always tell me that if you're looking at birds, look up with your mouth closed.
Yeah. It's good advice. Next up is the weather. So the weather here is so much better than the weather back home.
That's the main reason we came here.
Yeah. When it's 85 degrees back home so far this spring, it's been in the mid 70s here. When it's 5 degrees back home, it's been in the 20s and 30s here. So overall, I would say that's a win, but the weather here does bring some challenges. It is windy almost all the time.
Which is part of why we're inside filming today.
Yeah, we can't film outside because it's so windy. That's not too bad. The wind is not a terrible thing, but it does cause some issues. We have slide toppers on our camper, and they go all the time, all night long. And so
We do not sleep.
the boys sleep in the living room on really windy nights because they both sleep in a slide out. And so it's super loud. And so they'll come into the living room and sleep on the couches. And we have to turn around backwards so that our heads aren't in the slide out. And we still don't really sleep that much.
It's better though
Yeah, much better.
if we turn the opposite way and put our feet down in the slide out.
Yeah, but it has to be super windy for that to happen, and the wind has to be coming from the right direction. But the wind also brings in, which we did not know this, but it brings in what people around here call a sea fog. I didn't know that this was a thing in Texas, but apparently it is. So during the early spring, late winter months, it could be foggy all day. It could be foggy for 2 or 3 days at a time. That was just, it blew my mind that it could be foggy, and not just like low fog like back home, but like foggy as far as the eye can see, which is not very far during the fog. You can't see very far at all.
It's super thick. It's this, it doesn't let any sunshine through. It's very hazardous if you're driving. Very dangerous. There was a woman who was actually hit as she was crossing the street here not too long ago because of the fog. They couldn't see her on the road. So it is definitely one of those things that we did not expect. The sun, a normal fog, it seems to come out and burn off the fog. That doesn't happen here.
No effect.
It will last all day.
Yeah.
And it is so thick, it's almost as if it's a mist.
It really is. It's very wet. If you stand outside, you get wet.
I would get little drips off my hair just from the fog. It's very thick. And because of that, it's clinging, and it brings in the salt with it.
Yeah. So we have, an air fitting on the back of my toolbox, which had no rust on it when we got here. And now it's all rusted up. I've sprayed some stuff on it to kind of help. Gideon got a new bike about a month ago, and it is very rusted up
in many places
already.
Yeah.
And it hasn't seen salt water. It has just been here. And the salty breeze in the fog has really rusted it up quite a bit.
Yeah. So if you're here for quite a while, it could really do some damage on your camper and your vehicle. Our neighbor was out there scrubbing rust off her jacks the other day.
We have been really lucky that that our frame of our camper was already rusted pretty bad, and that I already took care of it, and I undercoated it, so it has not shown any signs of rusting.
So let's talk about the crowds here. While we've been here, we have only seen it get really, really busy 2 times. And that was during Mardi Gras and during spring break. So we can give you a little insight onto those things.
Oh, it's my turn? Okay. I'm giving insight on those things, apparently. So, what am I giving insight on? What am I doing? So when we first showed up here, we were so surprised that there was hardly anybody here, really. The campground was about half full. We'd go out on the beach, maybe see 5 people, maybe 10 people on a weekend.
Maybe.
That was the middle of January. And then, it never got busy for almost an entire month. And then Mardi Gras came, and that got so busy.
We were sitting in
So
our back
packed.
row, just watching camper after camper after camper pull in here.
Yeah, and it got so packed here. Just for the weekend, for 2 days. And then everybody cleared back out again. And there was hardly anybody here still. Maybe a couple more people, but until the first spring break week.
Which here is not the middle of March, but the week before.
Yep.
So we found out that the local schools around here release the second week of March here, not the 3rd. And so we kept expecting the 3rd week to be even busier than the 2nd week, but we found out that spring break had already happened around here.
Yeah, it was actually pretty funny because it got so busy that first week, the 2nd week of March, the first week of spring break. And they had their big concerts here and everything, and just floods of people. And we were like, man, next week is going to be nuts because it's going to be so much more busy. And there was hardly anybody here. I mean, it was busy, but not near as busy
Right.
as the first week of spring break.
Yeah.
So
That weekend we did go out to the ocean, and we were still able to find a spot on the beach, even though it was packed.
yeah,
I will say that we have learned that right outside of Camp Margaritaville's boardwalk is pretty generally open. You can usually find a spot pretty easy when you are walking from the boardwalk of Camp Margaritaville out to the ocean. Now, if you go down to the left or to the right, it's going to get a little bit more busy, mainly because you can actually buy a beach pass here and drive on the beach.
yeah.
And so people will take their vehicles and they will drive down and park on the beach. And, ice cream trucks will drive down the beach. There was a mobile restaurant on the beach. There's a mobile kite shop. All kinds of things that they use and they advertise for here that we didn't realize that was out there, And so it's pretty neat. It's a neat culture to be able to drive out in your car onto the beach. But it also can be a little bit hazardous because there are children everywhere. And people don't really slow down. So you have to be watching your kids pretty carefully while you're out there.
Yeah, the main thing is just teaching your kids just basically just to look before they start running. For the most part, what we would do and what most people would do is go up kind of close to the water and set up their, some people would have canopies, some people would have their cars backed up there. But we would just have our chairs and some towels and stuff. And then the kids would we just tell them, don't go behind us. Just stay even with us or out into the ocean.
Or we can see you.
Yeah, where we can see you. And then that was, pretty simple, pretty basic guidelines that they could follow, and they could do just about whatever they wanted, other than run behind us where there was a lot of traffic. I say a lot of traffic. It's not like a super highway.
There's a lot of golf carts.
But it gets busy, especially during spring break. And a lot of people, while on spring break, are going to drive a whole lot faster than the normal people that are going to be out on the beach every weekend.
I saw a chase.
Yeah.
I did. So I went to the beach, and the boys were like, we want to build a sandcastle. So I let them build a little further into the beach than normal, so that they could actually build something. And I could hear the sirens, and I looked down, and there was an actual police car and a cloud of dust. Well, I guess I should say a cloud of sand coming our way. And so I screamed at them. I was like, come here, because it looks like there's somebody getting chased on the beach. And sure enough, there was a car that was not pulling over for the cop. And they ended up pulling out off the beach and getting off the beach. But I wouldn't say it's a high-speed chase, but I don't know what came of it. But I thought that was crazy. They just did not listen to the cop, and they were driving like crazy on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's a no-no. No bueno.
Some positives about the beach here is that there are beautiful seashells. Where we're at, there's not a lot. There's only a few, and because people drive on the beach, the shells do get broken up, so you can only find a few pieces of shells usually. However, we did learn from a couple locals that as you come onto the peninsula, down at the very beginning, there's a house called the Lonely House that has no stairs going up to it, and there's thousands of seashells there. And so we did go look at that and find a good haul of seashells there. And there's other places on the peninsula that you can get good seashells, just not right outside of Camp Margaritaville.
We've found a few diamonds in the rough, so to speak.
Yes. Particularly the angel wing.
Yeah. So we started finding what we call the angel wing shells, and it's two shells that are attached like this. Mm-hmm. And they're just laying open.
And they look like little wings.
Yeah, and very pretty.
Mm-hmm. I saw a dead seagull once. That was kind of gross. I could see its skeleton.
It deserved it.
Blech. That's something that we need to talk about. When the seaweed blows in and all the animals come in, it stinks so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a what did that say? Distinct.
Very distinct smell.
Yes. It is definitely ocean.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of it, you know, that's just part of living near the ocean. But when the seaweed and the kelp and the animals come rolling in, so does the stink.
Yeah, it smells more like a lake at that point. For the most part, the beach doesn't smell bad. It's just when all that junk washes up that it starts to stink.
Yeah.
But as soon as it dries out, it gets much better.
Yeah, as soon as the sand kind of covers it up, it's fine. It was kind of like surprising. I didn't expect that much seaweed. There was a lot. It looked like those sea grapes that people have been eating on TikTok. Don't recommend that.
Not these anyway.
Not these anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh. Let's talk about what you really want to know about, which is the cost. Everything's expensive.
Yep. So the campsites themselves, if you get a monthly rate, those monthly rates start at about $900 a month. For the sites like the original site we had, which was on the very front row in the corner, close to the road and everything, which is not a bad site at all, just saying. The site we're in right now is $1,070 a month, I think, $1,050 a month, because we are just across the road from the ponds. If you want to eat here at the restaurant called Finn's, you're going to pay quite a bit of money to eat here. Now, realistically, compared to any other place along the peninsula, it's not that much more expensive, especially by the time you consider getting in your car, driving to the other restaurant, eating there, driving back. When you can just walk to this restaurant, maybe you can sit out on the deck and watch a concert while you eat, watch your kids play while you eat or drink or whatever you want to do. They do have happy hour every day from 2 to 5, and you can get certain drinks for like $5 a piece, and you can get chips and queso for I think on the menu it says $8 a piece.
Also, there's a couple other appetizers that you can get.
Oh yeah, I think you can get wings too, can't you?
Yeah. So you can get a little bit of a discounted rate if you go during happy hour for sure. There's also a $5 margarita golf cart that goes around. So if you were not wanting to leave your camper, they do come around. I've not caught them yet though. They're a little fast.
Yeah, they know which RVs to stop at. They stop at the really nice Class A's, the pushers, you know. Those are the ones they really stop at, and they're like, "Hey, you want margarita?"
But for the most part, something that we've learned is that anywhere that's like this, where it's hard to get things in, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. So groceries cost a little bit more here. Fuel costs more here. Laundry soap, everything costs at least $1 to $1.50 more here than it does at our home in Oklahoma.
Yep. Now, there is a Walmart about 15 miles away, but you have to get on the ferry right across to Galveston and then drive to the Walmart. And so we don't do that. We typically, if we want to go to Walmart, we go to Port Arthur. It is roughly, as far as time is concerned, it might be like 15 minutes further to go to Port Arthur. But it's pretty much a guaranteed just driving there. You don't have to wait on a ferry. Maybe you have to wait longer sometimes. Maybe you might be able to get to that Walmart in 30 minutes sometimes. I doubt it, but maybe you could. But anyway, so it's like an hour and 10 minutes maybe to the Walmart in Port Arthur. So we just always do a lot while we're there. Maybe there's several stores right around it. There's a Lowe's, an Academy.
I usually go to Texas Roadhouse.
I wasn't going to tell them that.
It's good food.
The real reason that I like to go to Port Arthur Walmart is because you can park in the Walmart parking lot and walk to Texas Roadhouse and eat before you go in the store.
But yeah, we've ended up buying a ice chest that we put all of our frozen stuff in, and that way we can kind of stock up, because we do have a special diet since our son is alpha gal positive, and so that means we eat a lot of chicken and fish
And turkey.
and you really can't get that here on the peninsula.
We go to the store called the Big Store here, and it's an Ace Hardware and a grocery store all in one. Really good store, actually, to be honest with you. I would highly recommend going there. They do have like a whole section of souvenirs and like flip-flops and shirts and stuff like that. But
Keychains.
yeah, but super nice people. They have real cashiers, and those cashiers are fast.
Yes, they are.
So even if you walk in the door and it looks like they've got 3 lines that are a mile long, 5 minutes you're done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, super easy.
They have a great produce section.
Yeah.
They have fresh squeezed orange juice and pineapple
Yep.
juice. They have an entire case, like 4 or 5 cases of just ice cream.
Yeah, they have a better ice cream selection than Walmart. I will say that.
Yeah. I think they know, and when people come to the beach, they want ice cream. So
Yep.
they've got every kind of ice cream under the sun that you could want. But they have the majority of everything we're looking for. And what we don't find there, we usually find at Dollar General.
Yeah. The only thing we can't get here is the salmon that we like and the turkey sausage.
Yes.
And there might be 1 or 2 other things, but I can't think of them right now.
Mostly just like the specialized stuff. Like
Yeah.
we're trying
Yeah.
to eat healthier, and so I buy like special protein chips, and I also buy special beef jerky, and I can't find either of those here.
Yeah.
But those are specials. It's not like I can't find my everyday food that I need here.
Yeah, you can get all kinds of chicken. They actually do have a really good selection of ground turkey. If you like steaks and burgers and regular sausages, pork and everything, they have an awesome selection at the big store.
Yeah.
No real reason to ever leave if you don't have some reason like us to have to go somewhere else.
If you're not on a special diet,
Yeah.
or if you don't have special dietary restrictions,
Yeah,
you should be completely fine.
yeah. Which, for those of you who don't know, alpha gal,
It is an allergy that you develop and makes you allergic to red meat.
yeah. So like no beef, no pork, no deer, no
Yeah.
elk, stuff like that.
You can have
You can't have it.
alligator.
You can't have gator.
Else.
Now, a lot of people are incredibly sensitive to it. Like, a lot of people can't have dairy products, cheese, gelatins,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff a lot of people can't have. Thankfully, our son his main thing is just beef and pork. That has made it super easy on us that we don't have to be super strict about the diet.
Yeah, because it's in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so hard to find stuff. Like, the people who have alpha gal really bad, I feel really sorry for them because they can't hardly eat anything. So there are several gas stations here on the peninsula. The diesel here is typically, 40 cents higher a gallon, maybe 30 cents higher a gallon than most of the towns that you drive through to get here. If we just have to fill up once or twice at that expensive rate, then it's not that bad. Right now, it's about the same price as everywhere else because it's insane pricing everywhere right now. So right now it's like $4.60 a gallon, $4.70 a gallon, something like that. And when we first got here, the expensive price we were paying was $3.29, $3.39. That's just something. It's just expensive to be here. But you typically kind of know that and just understand, just plan for spending just a little bit more money if you come down here. I know what you're thinking by now. Why on earth are you still there if it's that bad? Well, let's be honest. It's really not that bad in the grand scheme of things.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah. You get mild weather. I won't say it's perfect weather, but you do get good mild weather. You do get the benefits of tons of stuff for the kids to do. You can walk to the beach anytime you want. You have concerts that are free as long as you're staying here. I haven't known any of the people who've been singing so far, but some of them have been really good. And
Passengers Unknown, looking at you.
yeah, Passengers Unknown is great. Blacktop Mojo was pretty darn good too.
We're kind of homebodies, which is funny because we travel full time.
But we take our home with us everywhere. You
But
see?
we are kind of like homebodies. And so being here at the campground where if we want to go, if our boys want to go play with other kids, they can just walk down there and there's usually someone for them to play with. They have an activities director who she puts together all these amazing games for them to play, capture the flag, things like that. That really helps us to feel like we're letting our kids go out and, you know, scratch that itch of being extroverts while we don't have to really get out there too much. The pool is amazing here, so we can go and we can relax in the pool or in the hot tub. The ocean is just around the corner. So the positives really do outweigh the negatives here. Anywhere you go, there's going to be negatives. We wanted to be honest in our reviews and always tell the bad side and the good side of things. But for sure here, I feel like the good definitely outweighs the bad.
I think so. Yeah, there's an entire football field. It's a miniature football field where kids can play. And on these concert nights, there'll be somebody up there singing and the parents will be out there watching the music artist sing, and all the kids will just be playing volleyball, football, jumping on a jumping pillow.
Gaga ball.
Yeah, gaga ball. Or they'll be inside the pavilion playing ping pong or watching a movie or something, you know.
Yeah. Jenga.
Cornhole.
All kinds of toys. And they have arts and crafts for you. We've done the arts and crafts before. There's s'more night. S'more night is so much fun. You get to sit around the fire and talk to people from all over the place, and they provide everything you need to make s'mores. The restaurant is delicious, even though it is expensive.
It really is. It's really worth it. Like I said before, I mean, you don't have to drive to a restaurant. If you're like, man, I just really want to eat out tonight, but I don't feel like getting out, as long as you got pants on, you can go to a restaurant.
And get a great margarita.
Yeah, the chips and queso is amazing.
I had the fish tacos the other day. Delicious.
I am really not supposed to, but I love their cheeseburger.
Naughty.
They have a great cheeseburger and fries. Overall, we would definitely stay here again. I don't know when we'll be back. I would say, though, that we will eventually be back here just because it is a ton of fun. If you decide you want to stay here too, tell them that we sent you when you're booking your site. They won't have any clue who you're talking about, and you won't get anything out of it. And we won't either. But you can at least tell them that we sent you.
If you like this video and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're always making something new and different for our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Now go away so we can eat our popcorn in peace.